There it is.
Yeah, and I think that's a critical takeaway. If we think about the amount of impact that Closer has had on Viego, he's been playing this champion. He's played 5 times over the course of the championships, and he's been a huge carry threat, turning around skirmishes in the early game to get individually fed, and then he gets into team fights in a situation where he can constantly get reset.
And that's why C9 has to pick it away here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very critical moment in this series is if 100 Thieves can also beat the Viego, it's suddenly like, well, I guess C9 has to start banning it on blue side, or what's going to happen? Because it's one of these critical picks that if it gets outperformed, Closer's basically flexing and saying, you take the strongest champ in the game, we'll be fine.
TF.
You see that TF? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense here because now you know that LeBlanc and Syndra are off the table, so a lot of these more dangerous mid lane matchups are now removed. And you also know that if TF is in a situation where you can get 6 safely and just roam, you can also impact the bot lane, which now has an immobile Aphelios.
It's like a tip of the hat across the Atlantic to Niski, of course, there. And so that just means for me, Cloud9, they have a lot of freedom in what they can play topside. If they can go towards something like a Jace, like 100 Thieves weren't already going to respond well to something like that with a counter pick for Ssumday, and now they can amplify that with a Twisted Fate.
Yeah, 100 Thieves red side counter picks for top lane have not been super impressive this split, so I can see a world where C9 just goes, hey, we already have the global on our side, let's play a skill matchup. To that point though, you know, the TF is going to play similar to the Rise in the ability to get to side lanes, but it's just much more effective in the early game of actually teleporting up there and snowballing it, and we'll probably see a more snowball heavy topside matchup than Orange GP here.
So what I expect actually from Cloud9, I think would, they already banned it. I was about to say Camille, because split push,
yeah, get that out of here,
Get it out, get it out. I think Cloud9 has a lot of power to play split push 1-3-1, especially with Braum being locked in from 100 Thieves once again. They don't have real ways to lock them down and chase them down. I think Viego is going to have difficulty in fights diving, especially versus Aphelios if he has Chakram, Lee Sin that can always kick you out, Braum that's there to tag you. There it is!
We talked about how the Renekton was not available in game 1 for Ssumday, but this time it is left up and he goes right for it.
Yeah, and it's a critical pick for them because the problem is right now there's a champ pool issue going on, right? And there's still Gnar available for C9 to pick. It's a pick that Fudge has.
Whoa! That's a big one.
Nobody predicted that.
So
Nobody predicted that.
This is so cool because it is a counter pick for Renekton. Like the Trundle can beat the Renekton, and they have a lot of resources to snowball them with the TF and the Bard. It's going to be top lane party this game, but is Trundle this like insane snowball teamfight carry?
Is Trundle even going top lane?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
I like it
because Fudge has played Viego top.
No, I actually do like that a lot because Viego is more of a snowball carry. So if you have all these resources you're investing into your top lane already, have it be the one that actually snowballs hella hard.
Another thing too is that we've seen a lot of Trundle Thresh work out for Cloud9. And this is just another variation of Trundle Pillar into Gold Card, good pick composition.
Right.
It's going to make it very difficult for Lee Sin, for Braum in longer fights if they just get consistently picked out and chunked before an objective. So these are things that I'm looking out for Cloud9.
Yeah, and I like the Cloud9 draft overall because it allows so much proactivity. One thing we haven't talked about is the Bard here, right? And Bard is a pick where you can just perma leave lane, right, and constantly impact the side lanes and try to get a situation where TF can then roam and go top, or just try to go top directly yourself. So I think C9 is just continuing with the proactivity that you like to see from them that they had last game, and hopefully they can sort of turn that in.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for game number 2. Cloud9 over on the blue side this time around. 100 Thieves over on the red. Makes it a little bit easier for me to stay coordinated since blue on blue, red on red. But hey, a reminder to everybody out there, your Pro View matchup this time around is in the jungle. Blaber picking up this Trundle here, going up against the Lee Sin of Closer. Check that one out if you want to work on some of your own pathing and playmaking. And remember, Pro View is also newly optimized for mobile viewing to make it even easier to learn from your favorite pros. Now, talking about jungling specifically, Kobe, I know you love talking about the jungle. How do we feel about this Trundle pick here for Blaber going into the Lee Sin?
I mean, Trundle into Lee Sin, yeah, you can fight yourself out in duels, but Lee Sin gets to choose so many things. Chooses engages versus the Trundle, so it's much more, for a team pick, and looking at Orianna and Aphelios as low mobility carries.
Okay, and now let's go ahead and toss to the Tigress, who is standing by side stage for an interview with Reaper.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. Game number 1 escalated really quickly at the hands of Aphelios. How is the team feeling after starting this match?
Felt good with the start with the dub, but you know, it was not that easy, the game. So I'm pretty much like play the games, like that kind of vibe right now.
C9 was still showing proactivity. A bit of a different look here. The Renekton taking off the ban block, different junglers as well. Where are you keeping your eyes in game number 2?
Game number 2 is gonna be a bit hard than game number 1, I assume, because they are pretty fast at rotation map as a champions, and then our champions are kind of slow. So if we are not taking that much damage at early game, should be fine, yeah.
Thanks for the insight, Reaper. Back to the casters.
So you immediately see the effectiveness of that Trundle versus the low mobility carries, where Trundle Pillar, for some champions, not very threatening at all, but very efficient pathing here as he just steals away red, then crosses down to his own red to ensure the 3 buff.
Yeah, and that pairing of Trundle and TF set up well for each other. Slow for the gold card followed up with the slow, move towards the side lane. And we heard Reaper talking about how quickly Cloud9 can move around the map. It's even more amped up than their previous game as far as the roaming goes, because they have Bard in there, they have TF in there. They want to play sides heavily.
Okay, and with Blaber starting at Closer's red buff, we have both junglers pathing essentially from bot side to top side, with Blaber making that pit stop in mid. So we could see a fight over this top river Scuttle Crab here very soon.
Yeah, and those have been dangerous. Definitely going to go the way of the one with the extra pushing lane here. Fudge got to the early level 3 on Viego because he's pushing first. Ssumday will have that big wave at his turrets. We've got about 20 seconds left before the spawn, and you already see it. Cloud9 playing for the jungler. On pushing that wave up, Fudge, he immediately hovers into the river. He places the Tri-Brush ward himself so they can see when Closer tries to enter for it. He turns back to the wave. His priority is on pushing for it to ensure that Blaber can secure that top scuttle and just continue this early jungle advantage.
And I like the plan here from Cloud9 because there is a lot of pressure on them to get things done in the early stages of the game, to be the more proactive team. 100 Thieves are going back to a very similar style that they played last time. It's just really Ornn for Renekton, but they want a 5v5. They want to play stable. They're able to do it in game 1.
Okay, Ssumday's ready to go in. Gets the stun down to Fudge, who was already flashed away. Remember, that's his only escape mechanism here before level 6. No ulti, but Fudge is out of there as Closer applies pressure to the top lane. And
good reaction there from Fudge. He has to react very quickly. Even though they saw Closer place that ward and Tri-Brush do their own one, now they're threatening a dive.
Okay, but with a TP coming in, Ssumday just ends up taking a bit of a whooping here, and him and Closer have to back out as Perkz comes to the rescue.
But I love that. They forced the TP off of Perkz this early on. Perkz is the one who wants to be playing the map, but they're looking mid.
Oh, we aren't done
No
yet,
flash.
my friends. It's Vulcan and Blaber working together with a pillar of filth, and that was filthy indeed. First blood to the Cloud9 jungler.
Who needs a mid laner, boys? Jungle support is OP. Double gank there. The Bard comes in, and this is why so many of the teams in the LCS have been increasing their roam timings for their supports. Vulcan on that Bard pick shows up so big for them. Being able to magical journey in Trundle, all of a sudden, Trundle is a fearsome ganker, Azael.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things about this as well is the fact that it's actually not only removed, but put the Abbeddage at the disadvantage, because he would have been ahead off of Perkz TPing the top side if he could reset the wave. Instead, they come in, they kill him, they freeze the wave, so he has to use his own counter TP, eliminating that advantage and putting him in a position where he's at threat of being reganked again.
Superior map play here from Cloud9. They play for the extra mid lane tempo rather than going for the reset for bottom lane, and they're rewarded so hugely because, as you're saying, this was going to be an advantage for 100 Thieves where they burn the teleport off of Perkz. He goes up to the top side, but it's all corrected by shifting over and rotating to the next objective here, preying on Abbeddage, who had burned his flash from the early gank from Trundle.
And these were the strengths that we saw from Cloud9 in the first game too. That scrappiness, that ability to commit to the plays and work together to move around, forsake the sure thing, go for the play that is more active, that does involve more of that PvP, and you love to see it. Now Cloud9's looking to make the move on Ssumday. Stuns him up here. Fudge doing the chain CC. Ssumday can't turn it around, and Perkz gets paid.
It's exactly what Reaper is talking about, the threat of movement around the map here, being so proactive. Bard moves to mid lane with Trundle. They get prio there. That buys time for Perkz to then get prio mid. Ults top, kills off the Renekton. It's this snowballing effect that Cloud9 want to keep rolling.
Early gank gets the kill every time, and this also puts to shame the kind of lackadaisical rotation from 100 Thieves. You could see Huhi had made the roam up too. You know, oh yeah, support getting in there. I'm also pairing up with closer. They were halfway up the map, but you can't beat Twisted Fate teleport. Gets there first. Blaber gets there first. Whoever gets there these 10 seconds earlier is going to have huge rewards because you get the kill, but you also invalidate the move that your opponent was trying to make. Nothing came of that roam from Huhi out of bottom side, and they just have to go right back to default. Now it's answered.
And I think it's just so fun to track the knock-on effects, the snowball effects of these things. Because if they had not made that play mid, maybe the top play is answered by an Orianna teleport. But all of a sudden, that effective support plus jungle duo killing off the mid laner takes a TP. He can't answer top, so now top lane is dead. Now your top laner can maybe move as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a very proactive early game here from Cloud9. They're reaping the rewards for it thus far. You know, Blaber trying to start it off with buff to buff to buff pathing on jungle into crab to crab pathing. That's just high value, okay? There's a lot of travel time, but they're getting the highest value of the objectives. And it's not just him, it's the entire team getting in on it, as we mentioned, you know, with the timing from both Perkz and Vulcan roaming top side as well. And they're really playing to this lane Viego. Even though lane Viego has started to fall off with a lot of the nerfs to the sustain, they're putting Fudge in a very prime position here on a reset champion that really will excel with some early focus.
Yeah, and Cloud9's early game plays and that focus on the playmaking has earned them a 1.3 thousand FTX gold advantage just 8 minutes into the game here. Abeddage and Perkz don't really have a wave to fight over, but instead it'll be control wards. Vulcan right behind Perkz. If Abeddage just gets a little bit too antsy here, but no, nothing yet.
And you can see the early investment here from Huhi in the Swifty boots, trying to be able to speed up his movement around the map, trying to be able to match some of these roams that he knows are going to be coming from Bard. It's going to be an active early game, and he has got to be there, even if he can't make a proactive play, to make a reactive play, to answer the move from Vulcan.
And while last game, I really did like the purchase of the Swifty boots on AD carry. When you're facing things like the Ornn ultimate, which the first part is just going to be that slow applied, and so the movement speed plus the slow reduction are very valuable, and there wasn't as much hard CC. This time around, Cloud9 can punish that really heavily with a lot of stuns. So the opportunity cost, I think, this time around is a lot bigger. They're going to need to make use of that speed.
Everybody's looking to get involved in this Rift Herald fight, though. It's 100 Thieves with control over the pit and control over the objective right now. They are a 5-man squad. Cloud9 will choose not to contest this. They have left Zven in the bottom lane. He's putting in work on the plates instead. Cloud9 decide to make that trade.
Exactly. You can always tell by who's not rotating their bottom side. They're not going to win the team fight there, so they keep Zven bottom. He earns 2 turret plates himself, plus the extra wave of experience. And he's the one with the Twisted Fate on his team. So Cloud9 are free to make that decision. You get your dragon in trade, unless there's a really, really quick rotation from 100 Thieves. Huhi's actually heading into the river like they're threatening.
Yeah, they look like they may want to contest this here. Blaber's going to be the target. Kill the jungler, stop the Drake. Pretty easy equation, but now they're looking to turn it right back around. Chains of Corruption onto the 100 Thieves support. FBI loses half HP to the piercing arrow. 100 Thieves have stopped the Drake for now, but Cloud9's reinforcements have arrived. Top laners still up in top lane. No teleport on either one. It is a 4v4, and Cloud9's going to get chased away. Nice sidestep on the first one. Second one's still going to collide. Zven gets hit by the Sonic Wave, but no resonating strike. 100 Thieves chase them off. The Drake stays alive. Nobody gets it.
That was a really nice sidestep. If the winner's bite connects, I think Closer takes that for sure. He goes in, they look for that kill with the slowdown. Instead, he's able to dodge. They're pushing out on the other sides, trying to create CS advantages. You can see FTX total gold there. Cloud9 holding the top 3 in positions, but fighting for this dragon is pretty important. Because 100 Thieves is again playing 5v5, and threatening Soul, that is a way to force your opponents to show up and 5v5 you, to play towards your win conditions. If Cloud9 were able to get this early dragon, it pushes back Soul so much for 100 Thieves, and enables them to play side lanes where TF is going to be most effective.
Meanwhile, for the side of Cloud9, Perkz, he's a rich man, both in and out of game, my friend. Cloud9 has been good to him.
True.
They send Blaber to gank mid. They burn those flashes. They also allow him to actually get the kill credit on the move topside. Blue handed off to him now. I think that's really going to be critical for their game. This Twisted Fate ultimate cooldown with Ignite up too, by the way, for him is going to be very impactful.
And talking about impactful, man, Vulcan just staying all over Summoner's Rift, clearing out some vision from this top side here as Fudge is again just in a great spot with all this support behind him. He is down a level of experience compared to Ssumday, so he does have to be respectful of that, but still with a Thorn Mail, having the Sheen in the inventory, he's just fine. We might have a little bit of violence here in topside River as again, 100 Thieves are trying to match these Cloud9 rotations.
11.5-minute Everfrost for Perkz. I really need to emphasize this for him. The mid game is going to be determined by this man. Everfrost completed 2 stacks on the Dark Seal, and some of the CS that you can take away from Fudge was when Perkz teleported up topside and took some of it. This is funding. TF, remember, gets extra gold from the passive on that CS, so it really means a lot. Gold card.
Here we go. Everfrost trying to go after him, but Perkz instead has to flash away. Nice return there from 100 Thieves to fight these guys. Closer's going for the kick. They want to focus down Blaber, but Trundle's too tanky, baby. Subjugation gets it done. As Zven's now going to find even more damage. Piercing arrow right through the heart. Cloud9, 2 for nothing. Let's put some Drake sauce on it just to make it okay. Never mind, that was already taken by 100 Thieves beforehand.
Minions, baby! Even during the play, Perkz' mind is already on the macro. There's a double stacked wave bottom lane. You know what that means. He's cashing in. Great ultimate to transition and keep up the pressure on the map. Cloud9, they extract Blaber. This is why it's so critical with this player. He is a feast or famine player. He is in there willing to die for the play. They get him out. You heal off the Trundle passive. They get the extra kill. What a big play here for C9. Topside still going quite swimmingly for 100 Thieves, though, as you see the rotation.
And with Trundle being this pick that has only recently sort of come back into things, it's easy to forget how tanky the ultimate makes him. They thought they could secure the kill in the 3 versus 1 with the burst, but the ultimate from Trundle, keeping him alive, allowing Cloud9 to turn things back around. Rift Herald summoned up here in the top side, and with 100 Thieves only using this Herald for the instant charge and no other follow-up, the value of the Herald is 2 plates, the same as what Zven got in the bottom lane when Cloud9 chose not to contest.
But Ssumday is getting very far ahead. All this plate gold, he already has a pretty big CS advantage, so that is important for 100 Thieves. Some of Ssumday's best carry games have come on the Renekton.
Very true.
And I've got to say, even on top of the Trundle ultimate, it was the full commitment from Cloud9, willing to take an incredibly risky fight to try to bail out their jungler. We have Vulcan here flashing in as the Bard into melee range of people to get a binding, to bail him out. Many teams, I think, would have said, all right, Trundle kicked in, he's dead, back off. They take the risky fight, and they get the big reward.
Let's see what they can do with that reward. Transition already to some early game 1-3-1 for Cloud9. They've kept Perkz down on the bottom side after using his ultimate to go get the wave, keeping him in the side lane, rotating Zven and Vulcan over towards mid. This is actually a prime position to rotate your Bard around even more effectively. Top side is always going to be gone, so they give up the top side. They don't try and contest. They just trade it instead. Bottom side of the map will be theirs.
And look at all the vision around this bottom side river placed by Cloud9 in anticipation of taking this turret and the setup for the next Drake as well. Huhi's going to walk right into the river here, finds himself taking a little bit of damage, but the follow-up will not threaten a death.
All right, that's been a lot of Cloud9 talk, but now Ssumday's joining the mid game. He's coming down after taking the top turret. Crocodile is on the way. We've got
Crocodile Ssumday.
Double Gore Drinker's done, Shield Bow done as well for FBI, and he's still on the Aphelios, so it looks to me like they're pushing a lot of chips in towards those dragons with the rotation through. Now he's going to head back top, but he's still got his teleport to be able to roam.
And that's why it's going to be about, keeping this advantage going here for Cloud9. Ssumday getting pretty high up there. Abbeddage, FBI, all the 100 Thieves carries have a lot of gold here. Closer has been kept down much more. He's such an aggressive player. He wants to play from an advantage, wants to play in the face of his opponents. And Cloud9 are looking to take this Herald, but they're going to TP. They want to contest, and Ssumday is going to be flanking from the top side.
Okay, 100 Thieves is ready to try to stop him here. The Herald's already secured. Cloud9's got the objectives. 100 Thieves a little bit late to the play here. They committed a teleport only to still fumble things a bit and not pose any real threat. Cloud9 get away with it.
And another immediate teleport from Perkz to the bottom side of the map. He's focused so much on pushing out this wave over and over. 100 Thieves, they now can rotate towards this dragon and actually get number 2, but definitely a bit of a heist on the side of Cloud9 getting out, getting that second Rift Herald. it's just so big when you want to play 1-3-1 and split the map. Having Rift Herald number 2, not only is the expected gold value now higher with secondary turrets on the side lanes being juiced up in the previous patch, but it also plays right into your playstyle, opening up the map for them.
And I love how proactive Perkz has been to play for tempo, TP towards bot, push out the wave, then pop the ulti to scout out 100 Thieves, move towards mid lane, get river control, get mid lane control. They almost have this tower down, and now they're fighting Ssumday here in the jungle.
And so close there. He was inches away from getting the stun off, but Perkz didn't flinch.
Oh, that almost turned into a big old fight. Closer with a flash, having to use that defensively means no big offensive kicks to be made if the team fight does happen here.
Notice the rotation, though, from 100 Thieves. They actually sent Abbeddage down to answer that wave, and so thank you, observers. He is the one now on the turret pushing back, and off of the reset from Perkz, they're going to make their move.
Ooh, 100 Thieves trying to force the fight here. They find Glacial Fissure on Zven, but considering he can just sort of walk to the edge there, not a whole lot of extra pressure to be found. Zven is almost completely out of mana here on a poke-based Varus. This means he's not incredibly effective in an upcoming fight. 100 Thieves looking to utilize this window, go after the Drake, go up in a 2-0 lead in that factor, and it looks like Cloud9 has nothing to say about it. 100 Thieves doing a good job controlling these objectives here in the first half of the game.
And they're able to do that move because they're keeping track of these cooldowns so effectively. They sent Abbeddage to full commit to take that tower because they saw Perkz get his reset and they knew he did not have the ultimate up or the teleport that was just used, and switched those over to heal on Summoner Spellbook. So good use of time there by 100 Thieves, not to just reel and sit back on defense, but trying to get some gold back for themselves, fight back for map control, and they actually end up in a fairly good position getting Dragon number 2 in the aftermath without a significant, a hugely significant gold deficit. Cloud9 still with the map pressure, but 1,000 can be dealt with.
Absolutely. That's not going to be anything you're too concerned about when you're taking into consideration the TF passive gold. The fact that the teamfight comp has the 2 dragons is going to be able to force Cloud9 to come to them, and they're not too behind. I think they're going to be feeling pretty good about their chances. FBI has his shield bow, working towards what is likely a Lord Dom's second. And I think so much of this game is going to come down to this next dragon. If Cloud9 don't want to fight for it, they must get a lot of damage done on the map. They must pick up a significant amount of gold for that trade to be worthwhile, because this is Ocean Soul. And Ocean Soul for a 5v5 comp, if you get that, you go to Baron, you start it up over and over and over. You don't care about the consistent damage from Baron.
Yeah.
You can force your opponents to come to you so easily.
And especially when you have these tanky champions already, when you have a Renekton, when you have the Lee Sin, when you have the Braum, the power of that regeneration, the extra staying power in a team fight can give so much value. This mid lane tier 1 turret for 100 Thieves just barely hanging on by a hair.
Looks strong to me, yeah.
Well, one or two
Well
auto
constructed.
attacks, or maybe just a stiff breeze, and that one is headed home. But it's still a 4-0 game here for Cloud9. Almost 20 minutes in, and 100 Thieves have not yet found a single kill for themselves. But the FTX gold difference is still under 1,500. 100 Thieves staying relatively even with their opponents here. When you factor in the extra stats they get from those first 2 Drakes, it feels like a very level playing field.
Yeah, it does. I like that, Kobe. You're looking on the positive side here. The tower is half full. It's not half empty.
Exactly.
It ain't half
It's actually
anything.
95% full.
You guys are trolling. Okay, Cloud9.
There's still plenty of power to enjoy.
Talking about trolling, the troll got caught out a little bit here. Blaber eating a lot of damage. Flashes away, but FBI! Oh, he gets it done with the Inferno multi yet again.
Yes, he does. And guess what? With no Trundle, that means 100 Thieves can push in on Cloud9 territory for once. Topside is already moving in their favor. Baron is up, and Ssumday's being positioned down towards the split push with teleport ready.
The Ignite from Huhi was so critical there. He got it before even the initial use of the Trundle ultimate. The healing reduction on that, the healing reduction on Zven's heal as well, but they're looking for FBI here.
That was a big Bard ulti. The stun comes through. Cleanse is ready to go. Follow-up isn't there, and now Closer and Perkz could be getting into it here in the jungle. Closer with a disengage, though, make sure that doesn't happen. I like the attempt. They get the cleanse, but FBI's summoner spells make these sorts of picks more difficult.
It's pretty scary when he's rocking red-white guns as well. The age-old saying, red, white, don't fight, definitely reigns true, especially after you were just on the receiving end of the big Infernum ultimate. Here's a look at the pick, though. Gravitum gun used quite well by FBI to start it out, but as you said, it's the quick follow-up from Huhi that really matters. Ignite goes down, CC goes out, they lock him up long enough, and then ult bounces through.
And I have to be a little bit critical there. You know, if Cloud9 are willing to commit the TF ultimate to Scout, they should have done it earlier, right? Because Blaber was already in range of the brush by the time the TF pops the ulti to Scout. At that point, it doesn't matter. They're already there. You're already CC'd. And Blaber does get burst down, so it's a nice pick from 100 Thieves. And we're getting down to crunch time a minute before this Ocean Dragon. It becomes about the setup. It becomes about the prep. And 100 Thieves have a lot of wards in that river.
Yeah, unfortunately, using the TF ulti there is like playing a shooter game. A guy headshots you. Hey, man, I think there's somebody around that corner. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Information gained.
Yes, we have better information now in Cloud9. Let's see if they have the information they're going to need to stop 100 Thieves' Drake stack. We have 30 seconds until that third Drake of the game spawns. Cloud9 still commanding a 1,500 gold lead, but they will have to meet 100 Thieves in this open ground. When we're looking at summoner spells, FBI doesn't have the cleanse. Huhi has nothing, but all the other summoners are up for 100 Thieves. Blaber also without a flash, Zven no heal, Vulcan no ignite, but those flashes otherwise are ready to go on the side of C9. I really want to see who gets the drop here. It's Closer taking the damage at the start. Huhi throws out the Glacial Fissure, but he doesn't get much. A TP's coming in. Nice three-man catch from Vulcan as the focus finds its way onto Ssumday on the other end of the fight. Closer's able to go in, finds the kick down to Blaber, but again, they can't find the damage. FBI's here with a snipe, but it will be a 1-for-1. Jungle for jungle, and the fight's not over just yet. Perkz coming in here with a gold card. Ssumday's gonna get caught out as Fudge goes right back in. Oh, it's a heartbreaker, and Fudge takes him down. Another kill goes over to Zven, and Abbeddage uses the shockwave to stay alive. Fudge is ready to keep on fighting if he can, but Perkz has arrived for backup. Gold card goes through, and Abbeddage doesn't go over the wall, but it will not matter. Cloud9's already got themselves a fight.
Yeah, and don't overchase. Go right back for your reward. Get that dragon off the table before there's any extra time for the respawns of 100 Thieves. Cloud9. Critical river fight for him. The re-engage from Vulcan. Not only the ultimate, but the follow-up timing on the binding there. Really good from him. Closer went back into 1-for-1 with junglers, and off of that, it's just a snowball effect for Cloud9. Good job by them picking up the extra kill. Now they get to reset.
Yeah, the early poke, the long range here with the TF gold card, landing that in. Blaber does get burst down. You know, that is what is going well for them here after the recommitment. But you said it, Vulcan, three-man ulti, the binding is perfect. Zven's positioning over the wall there, always poking away, was very, very effective. But it's just, he's like FBI, man. Every time he shoots out an Infernum ultimate, someone's gonna die.
Then we've got the chase down, and when you're chasing down people with Viego, it definitely makes it easier. Perkz there with the extra speed on Twisted Fate, locks up a couple of the extra ones here on the side of Cloud9. They get their reset off. They get to spend their money with the extra time of taking that dragon, which you're putting so much importance on earlier. Azael has been acquired by C9. Now can we see them play the map to try and even this series up? Because if 100 Thieves are able to get a similar victory in this game, it is really going to turn the tides for this series.
And talking about similar victories for 100 Thieves, remember that in game number 1, it was Cloud9 who were ahead. They were making the better plays in the skirmishes, but 100 Thieves found that big critical moment around the Baron to outplay Cloud9. Yeah. So now with the game in its current state, with Cloud9 commanding this lead that is so much more that we've seen up until this 25-minute mark almost, can 100 Thieves find that window again?
It's a fine balance, like you say. I mean, you win a big team fight around the Baron, you take the Baron, all of a sudden they can't split, they have to play on your terms, you get all that gold, things can change quickly. But likewise, with Cloud9 ahead, with them with so many tools to play the map, if they find one pick, you can start to get peeled apart. You can start to lose towers left and right. The map opens up and it becomes even more difficult. With TF ulti popped, we'll see if 100 Thieves want to try to force Cloud9's hand and make them come to them for a fight.
Just a little bit of poke back and forth here. Pillar goes down. Ssumday's separated from the rest of the team, and that might be what they want to go after here. Aphelios turret placed. Chains of Corruption go out, but Perkz is zoned away from auto attack range for the gold card. Even with rapid fire cannon, they can't layer that stun there. 100 Thieves play it defensively and keep everybody safe. Abbeddage unfortunately pressed the wrong button, and that doesn't feel good.
Sven's going, I saw that, buddy. Thumbs up over from down on mid lane. Nice recall on the ball at the perfect time. Not going to be able to chase down, though.
Yeah, Ssumday just had the playing against Everfrost TF experience where he presses the go button, gold card, Everfrost, see you later, walk it off. Not really too worried about that one, so Cloud9 will disengage as well. Both teams trying to find opportunities to go in, and both teams responding well.
And buying time for Fudge, because Cloud9 never wanted to fight. They just wanted to poke and prod, disengage. The shockwave being used meant there's no chance that Closer can follow in even with hitting the Q. You don't have that team fight ultimate. So Fudge pushing on that top side allows them to get the waves going in their favor. You can see Perkz as well as Vulcan down in bot lane now, pushing out those waves. Cloud9 always want to keep those minions moving in the right direction.
I also want to shout out Huhi here for the side of 100 Thieves, because the reason why the picks are not working is because he's jumping up, playing the front man on Braum. He immediately stepped in front of Ssumday as soon as he got caught, puts up the Unbreakable. They get their disengage off, and so they don't give up extra map pressure.
Now 100 Thieves, they've got 80 seconds until that next Drake spawns. The last Drake fight was pretty tragic for them. You would expect different preparation, a different approach here this time around. You can see Cloud9 already has players in the bottom side river, but there's not a lot of vision established in this bottom river from anyone just yet.
And I think one of the reasons Cloud9 actually will feel more confident in this game than the previous one is because the difference between Ornn and Renekton is quite big for these later game pickoffs. You don't have that super long range, reliable engage to be able to force that team fight through. Ssumday has to, make a strong either side lane play or flanking play with a teleport on this Renekton to have that level of impact. He can't just hand out extra upgraded items and bring the giant long range AoE engage.
And I think it puts a lot of pressure on Closer as well to be able to find those kicks. But that is difficult, as you know, against teams with hard CC. If you go in for that and you get hit by the Varus ultimate, hit by a gold card, you don't have the ability to follow up on that play, and you're just going to be going down, which allows Cloud9 to play more aggressively in the side lanes, knowing there's not that hard engage.
And Cloud9 is currently in a spot where it looks like their opponents are not able to contest or come try to deal with them here at this Drake. It's still a very defensive posturing coming out from 100 Thieves. You can see FBI's health bar. That is a single piercing arrow from Zven finding its way onto him and him only. And considering the leads they have, the pressure they're creating, Cloud9 is happy to just leave Blaber in the pit alone while that pressure is applied. They know that 100 Thieves can't contest.
Exactly. So step number one, take the dragon. Step number two, though, is keep up the side lane pressure so you can continue to fish with Bard and Twisted Fate. Bard and Twisted Fate, two of the champions in the game that love playing the entire map the most of any champions. Here is an interrupt on the stun, but it doesn't actually matter because Vulcan is here and they still get more chip damage on the towers.
Sterix Gauge now completed for both of our frontliners on the side of Cloud9, so that's going to be a much tankier Viego, a much tankier Trundle. Over on the side of 100 Thieves, you can see we got Ssumday doing the same thing. He's ready to be that frontline menace, a stopwatch also there. Closer, of course, has one, but it's already been broken. And with Lord Dominic's already completed and the third item likely to be that Infinity Edge, FBI will soon hit the 3-item Aphelios that changes games.
Only changes the games if you can pin those guys down and get your team fight off, though. So we'll see. Can Cloud9 this time around actually fully play the map? 1-3-1, generally very easy. Viego split push here. Twisted Fate is actually coming up and looking for a pick, though, instead of split pushing on the bottom side. So Cloud9 are walking through a lot of vision. I don't expect them to find this pick here because 100 Thieves have already placed so many wards up and around Baron that with this move from Perkz actually up to the top side and not to the bottom side, they're just going to play it very defensively. They back off from the Baron. They still have a decent amount of cover.
And I do want to point out that although it feels like the map has belonged largely to Cloud9 for the past 10 minutes or so, the FTX gold advantage hasn't grown a whole lot. It's been around 3,000, 3.5 for quite a while now, so 100 Thieves aren't exactly losing out on a ton of resources just yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting tons of farm. You can see that Abbeddage actually has a farm bounty, which means he's farming much more than his opponent over the last handful of minutes of the game. Cloud9, though, trying to get more aggressive now, moving into the opponent's jungle, taking away vision, and trying to find a pick here. But 100 Thieves wants to fight.
Okay, Perkz barely dodging away from the Sonic Wave is going to be big. Ssumday getting locked down, taking a lot of damage. Steric's Gauge procced as Perkz might be ready to find the flank. He's going after Abbeddage, but he's already been shockwaved. Perkz does have the Zonias. He'll buy himself a moment, but the man's already dead. That was not the ulti they needed. Fudge teleports in and immediately has to ulti back over the wall, so Reset City is not on this road trip, and 100 Thieves with a very nice punish.
That is the rule number 1 of flanking. Do not actually isolate yourself in close proximity to the entire rest of the enemy team while your team is that far away. It makes it so easy for 100 Thieves to turn onto Perkz. Is an overreach at the attempted pick and a huge punish.
I mean, that was such a huge overreach. It also forced Fudge to TP. It didn't even seem like he wanted to be there for that. He had to TP late to try to bail Perkz out, so they lose all global pressure. They lose Perkz on the shutdown, and they lose their mid-tier 1. That is a pretty big swing in the game.
Ball was in Cloud9's hands right there. They had disengaged the flimsy attempt from 100 Thieves to get their 5-on-5. They burned down Ssumday, the front line there. Already had Trundle ult on him. Hysterics had popped. They forced his Gore Drinker. He had to retreat. But with that overcommitment, cost them a lot of that control around the map that now you have to reset. When you're 1-3-1, resetting and actually pushing back out, you have to do all of your preparation again to be able to get yourself back in that position, and that takes more time. More time that 100 Thieves can use to feed up FBI. That Aphelios is starting to look mighty dangerous, Captain Flowers.
Yup, and you know what's more dangerous than a hyper carry? A hyper carry with that stopwatch not broken in inventory. Because of the slow state of the game for the past 10 minutes or so, the next big fight could determine so much of the outcome of this game, and you can see that everybody is prepared. Guardian Angel for Ssumday. Stopwatch on both Abbeddage and FBI, no matter who is targeted. Unless the CC is perfectly chained, they will be able to survive the initial focus. Over on the side of Cloud9, you've got a Varus that's up to 4 completed items, including a fully evolved Muramana. This is some really scary stuff if that poke starts pouring in. You've also got the stopwatch ready to go on Blaber, so he can continue to be the front line and just tank for as long as humanly possible. Both squads have a full tank of resources ready to go for this next team fight, and I feel like it's going to be explosive.
And we're seeing on screen for the last minute and a half the rewards that 100 Thieves get for that turnaround play. So much more money funneled into them. Cloud9 were not able to get any extra pressure. Pushing through bottom side now, though, they're having the river.
They're going in after Perkz yet again. The Bard ult's going to buy a moment, and Closer's ready to disengage. Perkz has his own stasis, and he's going to lose his own life. Nicely done from 100 Thieves.
That is a huge pick for Closer. They're going to force a Baron. They know they have the 5v5 advantage. They're trying to make Cloud9 come to them to take a fight at a situation which is really rough. They could trade for Dragon, but then you're giving up Baron, you're giving up map control, and it looks like that's the call here from Cloud9. Yep. They don't think they can contest, so they'll push out mid. They'll move to Soul Point here, but back-to-back Perkz getting caught out, being punished very heavily, and they are starting to really slip in this game.
And earlier in the game, we were talking about Perkz' advantage, Perkz' gold lead, Perkz' 11-minute Everfrost. You all said, Perkz, this man will determine so much about the game. And it's happening right now as Closer finds them, and 100 Thieves get the pick.
That accuracy from Closer, from downtown in mid lane, lands the Q onto Perkz, immediately takes it, and this one is not a 1-for-1. That is not a trade. That is a gimme right there, and with the Baron buff, they can push inside of the secondary turret defenses of C9. Cloud9 revert to split pushing once again. Viego trying to get the most out of the enemy jungle, but damage dealt.
I believe he got the tier 2 bot as well, so they're trying to get some gold back here, but 100 Thieves has the tools now to try to make a team fight happen, to try to force them at one of these objectives, and we'll just see if Cloud9 can reset, can play the map. They still have the tools they need to split push this one out, but they have been slipping, and Perkz has been punished heavily for some critical mistakes over the last 5 minutes.
FBI with 100% kill participation and just now completing his 4th big item with that rapid fire cannon. We are at the point of Aphelios being just the game ender if not properly targeted, and Cloud9 will need to recognize, respect, and play around that. But it's easier said than done when you look at the frontline power of 100 Thieves, who have this Renekton, who have this Lee Sin, who have this Braum to protect everybody.
Have you read that one?
Yeah, this is looking like my homework. It's just, it looks nice on the outside, but there's not really a whole lot in there, and that's sort of the state of the game right now for Cloud9 as they are slipping away from their control on this game. They have a small gold lead, but you wouldn't believe it looking at the state of things. Bard ulti finds Closer. Piercing Arrow follows it up, but only for a little bit of damage. Perkz hanging out on the side, looking for maybe a chance with a rapid-fire cannon gold card here. Cannon minion will continue pushing up. Trundle Pillar to throw it a little bit further forward, give them the chance to kill it off. They'll do so. 100 Thieves applying the pressure here to mid, and it looks like they might want to put Ssumday here in the bottom lane, get 2 points of pressure instead. Cloud9 continue, just trying to clear the waves. FBI loses Immortal Shield Bow here, and that means 100 Thieves have to back away.
This poke from Zven has been so big. It's less about the minions and more about the health bars, but look at FBI. He's going to go right back to full off one wave.
Part of the reason, though, why Cloud9 wanted to go for the Dragon instead of contesting around that Baron is because they're confident in their wave clear. With Twisted Fate and the Varus, they've been able to do it. Good burn of the cooldown here, at least. Closer finds another cooldown off the side of Cloud9, just with a Q landing on a carry.
And let's go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the series before game one, looking at the draft. Closer earned his name on Viego. Even when the enemy team takes it, he's ready on the Lee, and he's been so important for their performances, but now he's getting caught out. Steps away. Abbeddage throws out the shockwave in case they were going to continue chasing. Bard ulti not finding the mark, and Perkz is again behind enemy lines, and he is isolated. Closer gets stunned, won't find the Sonic Wave this time. Huhi with a good block of the Piercing Arrow. They're ready to turn it around. They're ready to fight. Fudge is the target. He stays alive a little bit longer. It's GA for GA. Closer goes for the kick and knocks Vulcan out. Perkz still looking for the chance to get into the fight as we've got the Aphelios ulti, but it doesn't do a whole lot. Closer again with a re-engage onto Perkz. Perkz again separated from Cloud9. FBI again going forward, and Blaber again having to try to stay alive. Huhi tries to block the damage, but Zven goes on a killing spree, and Cloud9's ready to turn this around. FBI keeps on spinning. 100 Thieves keeps on winning until Ssumday just gets beat over the head, and FBI is slammed into the ground. Abbeddage's heart's about to be broken, and his back's gonna follow. Shut down over to Zven, and Cloud9 get the mop and bucket and clean them all up. It's your Bud Light ace.
It's 100 Thieves for dinner. Fudge is eating good tonight. TP's back in. The ulti comes up, gets the shutdown, takes Renekton's body, and he's piling through that fight.
That team fight was like a tug of war across the bottom lane here. We went from one end all the way down to the river and back again with Perkz out around the outside trying to find the way in, and finally they make the resurgence. It really breaks under the tower though. Shockwave being down means Cloud9 want to go all in. There's no Shockwave for the disengage. So Perkz use the Twisted Fate ultimate up to the bottom side so they can't get out, and 100 Thieves think their best chance is to turn on the 4-person group then, while Perkz is so far away, and so Ssumday commits, FBI moves forward on the Aphelios, and they burn the Guardian Angels, but it's 1-for-1 in GA trade, and that's just round one, Azael.
Man, there were so many critical sidesteps here. The backstep on the Shockwave, the sidestep on this next Q here from Perkz if he gets tagged by that could be a death. The sidestep from multiple Cloud9 members on Closer, kicking the bar through the team.
Ocean Soul has gone down in real time while this replay is going. So guess what? Cloud9, not only did they win this team fight, they got the Ocean Soul in their reward. Stepping forward though on these resets for Fudge.
Yeah, Fudge getting out with the GA. Goes back to base, TP's back in. The earlier ultimate that had been forced by Closer comes back up, and he goes insane in that fight. That was such a long skirmish. All the resources had been forced from 100 Thieves by the time Fudge arrives again. And Perkz typing to Closer after that fight. They were skirmishing back and forth. He said 1v1 all fight. You know, they're just battling on the edges there because Closer was bodyguarding. He was trying to keep the TF out from being a factor in that fight, but they're looking for a fight topside.
They go after Ssumday. They won't find a kill, but they get the ulti. And if you're looking for a big fight afterwards, there is a huge difference between Renekton when he has the ult and he does not. So Cloud9 have set themselves up in a pretty good spot here. They are back to having a more commanding lead. That Ocean Soul has so much value as well. We talked earlier about how good it could be for 100 Thieves with their lineup, but when you look at champions like Trundle and like Viego, it's incredibly powerful
they
for
wanna
C9
fight.
as well, and they're going in for the flank. It's Blaber and Perkz from behind. Ball is not in a good spot for a big shockwave. Closer going to be caught out here from the Bard ulti. Won't be stunned up afterwards. Huhi with a good amount of defense coming out from the Unbreakable. Tries to defend himself here with a Glacial Fissure. He is very low. Piercing Arrow comes out, but it's sidestepped away. Wild cards are flying. 100 Thieves trying to get out of here. Perkz still looking for the gold card once more. Huhi still down to about 100 HP. There is no Drake to fight for, but Baron is up on the map, and Cloud9 have earned control.
And they play their range advantage so well there. With the pillars from Blaber, they don't fully commit. They keep on throwing out harassment after harassment, long range. Perkz backs off. They don't get caught. Gold card goes out here, and they get some more of it. Plus, they've got the Ocean Soul for the regen.
Closer's trying to go in. He gets the kick onto Perkz, but he's not setting it up in a great spot thus far. Perkz goes over the wall. Ssumday's going to be ready to collapse, but Fudge goes over, and he's ready to fight. He goes into the mist, tries to disengage now. Perkz and Fudge staying alive very well in what could have been a very precarious situation.
And another critical sidestep there is that Braum cube to the top side, using the extra move speed in the Shroud. Now they're going to start it up again, and here we go.
This is prime Ocean Soul territory. Started up again and again, regenning to full. They're taxing the resources here from Under Thieves, and Ssumday, he's not on the right side of the fight.
Closer's the target now. They made it look like it was going to be FBI, but they switched the attention over to the jungler instead. Fudge gets away as 100 Thieves look for some sort of a counter kill. Perkz is thrown up into the air. The damage comes through, and it pours into his health bar. FBI takes one, and now we got ourselves a 1-for-1 fight. Shockwave finds Blaber. That'll get the Sterix gauge. But with Ssumday already mostly dead and Cloud9 still having an Ocean Soul, this is just free. Top off the health bars, go right back into the Baron. 100 Thieves can no longer contest. Huhi and FBI will walk over. This would have to be the most 200 of years for FBI to prevail here. Huhi tries to go forward. Winner's Bite, not going to find a lot. Blaber going on a magical journey. A little bit of damage coming out there, but FBI won't get enough, and 100 Thieves are forced off. It is Baron for Cloud9.
Cloud9 playing it so smart with the Ocean Soul advantage. You want these never-ending fights, utilizing the Baron as a tool to force 100 Thieves to stay out on the map. This continued series of plays was all about taxing their resources. They go topside towards Ssumday, they force Azael, then he TPs mid. It's this long extended poke battle, utilizing the Ocean Soul, then to the Baron. Abbeddage goes back to base, TP's back. There's still full health from the Ocean Soul, and it never ends, and it's such a smart way to play.
There's so much regeneration, it's insane, because it's an Ocean Soul on top of 3 Ocean Drakes. Since the first 2 were picked up by 100 Thieves, it's just the most regen you could possibly get, and Cloud9 are going to be able to make the most of it. Now you can return to your split push. Viego bottom side, Twisted Fate heading up top, and with Baron buff, your minions are so tanky, it takes 100 Thieves so long to clear them out.
And let's hop in the time machine, go into the future about 2 minutes here. By the time this Baron buff expires, that's also going to mean Elder Dragon has spawned. So Cloud9 will have the opportunity to use this to set up the whole map if they can. You can see Closer was looking for the opportunity to go in and make a big kick there. He does have Flash. The Insect could be the difference between winning and losing this game, as Cloud9's lead continues to climb. Up to 5,000 now. 1 minute and 20 seconds until the Elder Drake spawns. 1 minute and 30 left on the Baron buff. Perkz has just used the ulti, getting information, scouting them out. They're not going to make a play or a pick. They're just going to continue pressuring turrets, taking objectives, and building a lead.
It's all about sides. The solos are winning the side lanes now for Cloud9. They're pushing in. They're threatening towers. You can see Fudge is all the way up to the base with multiple Baron cannons down in bot lane trying to tax their resources, to spread them thin. And he just has to play bodyguard for them. They'll do the work for him.
Yeah, we've scaled to the point where Viego is now just an absolute terror. You can see he also has the Hull Breaker in his inventory. This is an item we have not seen a lot of. When you are isolated from your own teammates, it enchants your minions to be stronger and gives you better damage against turrets. It is incredibly powerful in a split push situation. And Fudge using that, he's got his entire army here of howitzers just boom, 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 boom. Goodbye turrets. Mid lane tier 3 about to fall now as well. Closer goes in for the kick. He found Zven. They've already got the kill, and that is massive for 100 Thieves. Can they get anything more is the question. Do they want to go on a magical journey? No, they do not. But Elder Dragon spawns in 10 seconds, and 100 Thieves is a 5v4 on the map. Cloud9, they're not going for that, though. They're still playing sides. It's Perkz in top lane, Fudge in bottom, 100 Thieves still chasing further towards the remaining Cloud9 players, getting priority over the mid lane, and Elder has spawned.
Closer has never looked better. This man is in peak form. He just single-handedly stopped that Baron siege by just pulling off the beautiful insect on Zven. The cooldown on his flash was coming up. It also gives them priority on the Elder Dragon. 100 Thieves are right back in it.
Oh, baby, 100 Thieves with the Elder Drake, and this game is truly a roller coaster ride, my friends.
Clutch factor. We're already starting to see it from Closer here.
And now it's all about forcing. You have this couple minutes here with the Elder Dragon. This is your win condition. This is your point of strength right now, where that outweighs what the Ocean Soul can do. And it's going to be about 100 Thieves trying to force, and Cloud9 trying to play the map, trying to dissuade these engages, poke and prod and clear out waves to not allow them to get anything else.
Every game is going to be this push and pull, my friends. We're at 46 minutes already in game number 2 here between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves to see who will get the honor of playing the final boss, Team Liquid, in the championship tomorrow. And it's as close as ever. Now with Elder Dragon at the fingertips of the 100 Thieves, though, and teleport ready on Ssumday, they can barrel down mid lane with 4 while also getting top lane pushing for themselves.
Interesting purchase here from Vulcan, the Vigilant Wardstone. So really big focus on vision control, holding additional pink wards there. Not something you often get to see because it's rare that supports get this far in the game. Bard ulti, just a delay. They just want to clear out the wave, slow down the push. Give Fudge time to get back to base because he was down in bot lane, getting those minions moving in the right direction. Cloud9, no intention to fight during Elder.
Also, it's going to be critical to watch Abbeddage play with this Orianna, because while it's not going to be this turbo-fed Orianna shockwave destroy them all, he has to apply the grievous wounds here to as many members as possible with this Morello Nomicon. FBI getting chunked out before they can even go for the engage, though, and Cloud9, they just continue to play to their strengths. The extra range, they defend again, easy wave clear, and they're holding them off even with Elder.
You talk about scaling and you look at Aphelios as this big team fighter, but the power of a 6-item lethality Varus sniping these health bars over and over again is saving Cloud9 from an Elder team fight.
I mean, if Aphelios can out DPS him, but it doesn't matter if you can't hit him. You gotta get a range first. The man is 2 screens away, sniping you for 500 damage. Zven has been so critical for Cloud9 throughout this game, hitting skill shot after skill shot, softening them up before team fights, clearing down waves, dissuading the push.
How soft is FBI now? Because that man's been getting...
Oh! Well, that's the stasis that could end up ending this game. A little bit more damage coming through. Huhi again. Excellent use of the protective power of the Unbreakable. They're able to throw Vulcan up into the air. Ssumday's coming around from the side. Closer's going to be taken very low. The man might get bursted down, but Sterik's able to keep him alive. FBI going to grab the kill. Now down onto Zven. Blaber running out. 100 Thieves. They may just win the game off of this. Ssumday continues charging forward. The man has no fear. Guardian Angels have been popped. Blaber may be the next to die. The root comes through and the damage is down. Ssumday staying alive with a nice amount of heals as Fudge goes in and looks for the resets. He'll grab the Guardian Angel, staying alive here with a resurrection. Perkz looking for an opportunity to maybe make something happen here. Cloud9 falling back. Nice use of the CC here to defend. 100 Thieves continue the push. The health bars are critical. Cloud9 is regrouping. They are resetting. They know that they will not lose the game here, but they don't want to overcommit. 100 Thieves still sticking around. Abbeddage will have a teleport to make his way back into the fight very soon. Huhi's at about 300 HP, Closer at 200, but he's got Guardian Angel. FBI is going to get caught out here yet again, and nice stun coming out from the Bard. Glacial Fissure throws him up into the air, and Perkz is out of there. Fudge tries to stand and fight, but Closer's got the kick ready to go yet again. Fudge will be focused down, traded away for Huhi. It is Vulcan against the Thieves. Zven is alive in 1 second, but it's 1 second to have to deal with everything still staring him down. Nexus turret number 1 is done. 100 Thieves looking to end the game right now. And again, they will do it. It's 100 Thieves taking game 2.
Closer, you beautiful man. How many times are you going to find Zven, kick him into the team? So many insane insect plays from him. Aphelios doing the work there as FBI is pumping out the DPS, and the 100 Thieves are up 2-0 over Cloud9 now with such a big late game resurgence there, a critical defense of inside the base at the Nexus turrets, and then they're able to get back for the Elder Dragon and run it all the way to the Nexus.
And you're talking about in-game. I want to go back to mid-game and Perkz' decision-making a couple of different times individually that really screwed things up for the side of Cloud9 and the tempo and the momentum that they had. 100 Thieves punishing that initial play towards the red buff where he tried to go for the flank, bam, smacked. Next play, it's Closer making the moves like you're talking about, bam, smacked. If Cloud9 wants to come back, we don't need to be saying bam, smacked anymore.
And I mean, Cloud9 was trying to continually go for these aggressive plays that 100 Thieves did a great job of punishing. You know, it was this final play at the end of the game where Cloud9 had actually just defended the play in their base and decided to re-engage. This is the previous play where Zven gets caught. Q in, Warthog kicks Zven away from his team. Their FBI able to get on top of him and pick him off. But even in this extended play, Cloud9 didn't have to keep fighting. They could have backed off, but they decided to fight again after they had lost multiple members, and that's what actually cost them the game.
More and more being funneled in, and 100 Thieves, they just want to prolong it. They keep on pressing forward. FBI, the only one with a full HP bar, so he's taking the turret even. Charge forward, cleanse through, turret goes poof, and they're able to just make this push all the way to the victory. Here's a look at the resurgence after they get back from the fountain.
Yeah, so this is the moment I'm talking about. The waves are cleared. You can just wait on respawns as Cloud9. They decide to go for the aggressive play instead to try to punish these low HP bars. But the Braum shield is up, the Guardian is proc, the gold card critically expired there from Perkz. He couldn't get the stun on FBI, and when FBI does not get burst down, they're able to get those kills, and that was Cloud9 looking for an aggressive move. If you just wait for Zven to respawn, the game does not end there. You have another chance, but that's just not the way that Cloud9 plays. They play with a killer instinct. They always try to go for the maximum, and I think 100 Thieves did an incredible job at punishing that throughout this game.
And a big part of that and the defense is Huhi on the Braum, continually
100%.
jumping in to protect the frontline member. He did a lot of work, even flashing forward to get Braum ultimates as engaged, which is very difficult to do with the travel time of it. But you know, big play there for the 100 Thieves. And with Reaper, he doesn't change unless you force him to change strategy. So with another win for themselves, I don't see Reaper, you know, switching up versus his old team versus Cloud9 until they make him.
Well, the pressure is on Cloud9 now as 100 Thieves find themselves up 2-0. But as we're done with game number 2, it's time